Welcome to bowling's most prestigious match game event, the 47th ABC Bud Light Masters. And let's welcome today's Masters finalists. Our number 5 qualifier, bowling in his 5th Masters, owner of 9 regional titles out of Milford, Connecticut, Bobby Fleetwood. In the number 4 position, 3-time PBA titleist and 7-time senior PBA winner from Wallington, New Jersey, ABC Hall of Famer Teata, Semiz. Our number 3 qualifier, bowling in his 6th Masters tournament, 1997 New Jersey Masters champion out of Bordentown, New Jersey, Ron Papp. In the number 2 position, owner of 7 Illinois state titles, bowling in his 3rd ABC Masters, the 23-year-old right-hander from Decatur, Illinois, Jason Queen. And our tournament leader is competing in his 7th ABC Masters. 3rd place in 1992, 8th place last year. His 874 series in match play shattered the all-time ABC tournament 3-game series record from Tucson, Arizona, Eric Forkel. And hello again, everybody. I'm Mike Jakubowski, along with the person who's won 2 of these Masters titles, Earl Anthony.
Pleasure to be with you, Mike.
And in our number 1 position, we have another lefty, the only lefty in our final 5, Eric Forkel.
And Eric Forkel is going to be tough to beat today. He's very experienced. He's been in this position before. He's already won a major championship, the PBA National. So don't expect Eric to be very easy to handle, and I expect him to be the guy to beat all day long.
And another interesting story coming out of our number 4 position, Teata Semiz.
Teata is a very interesting story. Here's a guy with a great game, a lot of experience, and if experience is a factor in any of the matches, Teata's got more than all the rest of the guys put together. Believe me, he's been around a long time. So don't expect Teata to be easy either. That could be our championship match.
Teata Semiz faces Bobby Fleetwood in our opening match, coming up right after this. The 47th Annual American Bowling Congress Bud Light Masters Tournament is being brought to you by Bud Light. It's the beer that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. By Contour Power Grips, the pioneers of the finger grip industry. More pros choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. By Lind Shoes. For the performance approach, it's American-made Lind Shoes, the choice of top professionals and amateurs alike. And the American Bowling Congress, providing championship service to bowlers for more than 100 years. Make sure your league is ABC sanctioned. Welcome to the Von Braun Civic Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Fabulous venue for this 47th ABC Bud Light Masters. Teata Semiz and Bobby Fleetwood set to go in our opening match.
And this should be a good one, Mike. We can expect both players to make good shots. They have a lot of experience, and this shouldn't bother them. The television shouldn't be a problem for them. The lights, the big crowd, and this is a big crowd. They're all looking forward to big scores, and we've had a lot of good scores throughout the week, a lot of 300 games.
Fleetwood is 39, set to make his opening shot. And we're underway from Huntsville. Contour Power Grips will pay the first bowler to throw a perfect game on the Masters telecast, a $10,000 bonus. More pros use Contour Power Grips. You should too. Here's our first look at 63-year-old Teata Semiz. Semiz in trouble early.
And Teata having a little balance problem at the foul line there. He's had some hip problems, a little sciatic nerve pain, and it makes him flinch once in a while, and that looked like what happened to him there. Just didn't stay down and go through the shot, and the ball hooked early. What a feeling it is to bowl in front of this huge crowd and this big, just outstanding venue, as you mentioned, Mike. It's so quiet when you're on the approach. It's amazing. You can hear your feet going to the foul line. I know I've been there. I've done this. It's just, there's a panoramic view of how big the crowd is, how big this area is. Just huge, huge stadium. It's a wonderful feeling. You feel like you're on stage. You're performing for all these people.
Semiz fouled pocket.
I was talking to Teata earlier. He was just thrilled to be here. He almost skipped this tournament. His son talked him into it. His son's getting 10% of whatever he wins. He was on his way home. He said, oh, well, okay, if you insist, I'll bowl. And here he is.
First Masters appearance he's made since 1987. Fleetwood strike up, second frame. Off his balance a little bit, but carries the trip 4. First 2 for Fleetwood.
The pinfall here, Mike, as you see, that was demonstrated there. The trip 4, it's been outstanding. By outstanding, I mean it's very easy to get the pins to fall. Get any part of the pocket, you got a good chance to throw a strike. And here's a look at Bobby Fleetwood going to the foul line, 4-stepper. You can see he keeps his shoulders very erect until he gets right to the foul line, gets him down low, gets him over the knee. And here you can see he stopped a little more abruptly than he wanted to. I think more than anything else, he was out of time on that shot. Opening jitters, I think, and he got away with it. Got the ball down early, but it set up for him, and he struck. Again, big scores all throughout the tournament. In fact, our tournament leader, Eric Forkel, had 2 300 games this week.
Fleetwood with the first 3.
Much better shot there. Got that one out in front of him. Good balance. You can see he extended very well through that shot, and good rotation. Here's another look. Now watch the ball get well out on the lane. Much better shot, and you can see he's still balanced and chasing the ball with his hand. Now the veteran, one of the stars of the senior tour. He's been around forever, this guy. Teata Semiz, a great player.
Semiz with a double in the 3rd frame. 5 and 2 in match play. Look at that match play average, Earl. 233.
Unbelievable. That shows you what Teata likes the best. He enjoys the match play, and he got a couple of real big sets going. You can see 791 and 792 back-to-back there. But look what happened to him when he bowled Forkel. 874 to 699, the tie there with Mark Seifert. They had a 1-game roll-off. Teata shot 250 plus to win that game in a roll-off to beat 240 that Mark Seifert shot.
A little bit high, all but the 7.
Now that ball was so high, it could have possibly been another 4-6 for Teata. But again, talking about how well the pins fall here, the carry, got away with it. Almost got a strike, left only the 7-pin. All of the players are outstanding spare shooters. Shouldn't be any problem here for Teata. Cross lane with his spare ball.
We'll be back with more of our opening match from the Bud Light Masters from Huntsville right after this. American Bowling Congress President Walt Robertson presided over the opening of the 94th ABC tournament in Huntsville and presented bowling's first Perfect Series award to 900 shooter Jeremy Sonnenfeld. That, of course, happening back in February. Unbelievable 900 series from Jeremy Sonnenfeld. 4th frame, Fleetwood can go to plus 32 with a strike.
Oh, what a great camera angle. I love that shot. I like that down there by the bottom where you can really see the rotation of the ball. Here's another look at that last shot. You can see again the good balance, the good extension, and what it's all about. Where your hand goes, the ball's going to go. So chase the ball with your hand, and you've got definitely good rotation and good direction.
We had talked about the experienced players, Earl, but our wild cards are giving it a run so far.
Well, 39 years old, Fleetwood's experienced. He's just not experienced at this level of competition, and he's feeling some heat right now. But sometimes some people react to the heat a little different than others. Bobby Fleetwood is reacting with making great shots. Some people go the other way. They can't hardly get to the foul line without tripping over themselves. But Bobby is really showing he's capable of handling the pressure.
Oh, solid for 5 in a row. .42-pin lead for Fleetwood. Teata Semiz in his 5th frame.
These 1-game matches, it can go in a hurry. Teata knows he's got to get started right now.
And he
does. You'd watch, as you look at the score sheet there, as you watch Teata go to the Teata go to the foul line, you see a guy that's really, really talented, very well coordinated, very smooth. This is the way the game should be played. This good free arm swing, the 5-step approach.
Not only that, Earl, this guy is in shape. And a double cuts the lead to 22. Fleetwood is halfway to that $10,000 Contour Power Grip bonus for a perfect game.
Watch the pin action here. You see the ball hitting light in the pocket, but still has plenty of drive to get to the 5-pin. And the head pin coming off the wall does most of the damage. And a little body action there helps a little bit. A little Fred Astaire. Little music here, Mike. Little music.
Little music for first 6, indeed.
You're right.
First 6 out of the trunk for Bobby Fleetwood.
42-pin lead. It's going to be tough to catch up, but this match is a long way from over. Both these players realize that. Bobby Fleetwood, I'm sure, is not even thinking of that $10,000. He's just thinking, let me get by this first match.
Winner of this match will face Ron Papp, our number 3 qualifier. 7 in a row. All of them solid.
A little different release there. Got a little early on the lane, but he carried it through, and we'll be back with more of this opening match right after this short break.
Welcome back to the opening match here at the ABC Bud Light Masters. Teata Semiz, 7th frame.
Well, Teata knew that he couldn't afford one of those, 10-pin or a 4-pin. It's just he's running out of frames, and it just seems like if you were to ask Teata right now, he'd probably say, why me? Every time he's been on television in the last 5 or 6 events, he's bowled extremely well, but someone starts with 8 in a row or something at him, and it's just been tough luck. Here's a look again at the classic style of one of the finest players to come out of the New Jersey area. Teata Semiz, a long push away, let the ball swing free from the shoulder, the 5-step approach, the shoulders over the knee. Good long slide through the extension area, and they'll chase the ball with the hand. Never rushes anything, just makes everything happen smooth, lets the ball do most of the work. I think more than anything else, some injuries that Teata has had, the nagging injuries have hampered him a little, and the number of games he's had to bowl to get to this point probably tired him out a little bit, but he's doing extremely well, and for a guy at 63 years old, he looks like he's 33. Looks great, doesn't he?
Do you think Fleetwood has any chance of a letdown with the match in hand, or is that 7 in a row going to keep him fine-tuned?
I think he's pumped. I think he's every shot he makes now, he's feeling more and more an opportunity. You see him taking the deep breath, blowing the air out here. Good concentration. He won't blink, folks. He'll go to the foul line staring just like that.
8 in a row.
A little out of time on that shot. Had a little problem at the foul line, but he got away with it. Again, a good shot. He kept it on line, and that's the key. These reactive resin bowling balls, if you can get them in the pocket area, you've got a good chance to strike.
Take a look at some stats on Bobby Fleetwood. 8-2, 10 total matches. Qualifying average at 218, match play average 216.7. And let's get a look at who he faced on the way here. Lonnie Wallachek, losing to Ron Papp early. Shooting in the 600s. 760 against Chris Barnes.
Seemed like he pumped up against the guys he knew he might shoot some big numbers at him.
And we'll go to the 10th.
There's a look at that carry we talked about earlier, the little bit high in the pocket, high hit, and it didn't trip off the wall. Watch the 4-pin go straight back. Now this ball is high on the head pin, but look at the 4-pin, it goes straight back. A little different carry than you normally would see. There's another look, you can see the 4-pin gets hit on the way by, where normally it would be tripped off the wall on that kind of a hit.
Oh, here's Teata with another tap.
Yeah, well, Teata's just trying to get out of the way now. He knows that Fleetwood's got a shot at $10,000. He just wants to get done, get out of there. And you see he's picking up his spare ball. regardless of how Teata finishes, and it's obvious he's going to lose. It's been a great tournament for the guy that was not even going to bowl. And I'm proud of him because he's a senior just like me, and he did well. We've been looking at Bobby Fleetwood and watching him these first 9 in a row and trying to see if he has the logo, and he has it right there. See, he doesn't. He has the wrong logo on, so he's not eligible for the $10,000 bonus for the 300 game. Well, you live and learn, I guess, huh?
Well, I guess you can always slap it on for the next game and throw 2 in a row.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's a shame, but
here's Semiz finishing up. The Hall of Famer elected to the American Bowling Congress Hall of Fame in 1990.
You see, so you heard some encouragement there from Teata Semiz. Teata wearing a microphone so you could hear his comments. He said, all right, come on now. Trying to pump him up a little bit. Make sure he keeps his concentration here. Bobby Fleetwood, first ball in the 10th. Very slow player. Takes a lot of time. Threw it well. Got it out in front of him. And a bit of the soft 10. Just, I think he kind of aimed that one a little bit, but it was a great shot. He kept it in the pocket area. Had a good opportunity to strike. Well, now we don't have to worry about the $10,000 for Bobby. Maybe Mr. Papp will come over and shoot one for us.
Well, Ron Papp will have to contend with a hot player. 9 in a row and 9 out for Fleetwood, but that's enough to have him advance to face Ron Papp. We'll be back with our second match. Ron Papp and Bobby Fleetwood right after this. Impressively American, uniquely North Alabama, the Huntsville area is a region of natural and man-made wonders. Huntsville offers miles of riverside parks and quaint communities to go with its metropolitan activities. One of those activities includes the Von Braun Civic Center, fabulous venue. And we'd like to also introduce Dorman Spencer from Hedden Bowling Corporation, who's joining us. And Dorman, I'd like you to tell us about the first installation by Hedden Bowling here at the ABC tournaments.
Well, it was a learning experience, that's for sure. We had 28 days to put the 48 lanes in, and we learned how that went in. But it turned out great, and everything's great. It's a nice facility. People here are wonderful, and so love to see the talent out here with the scores we've got, and everything's going great.
Okay, we're ready for our second match. Ron Papp.
Stick around, Dorman.
Stick around and call some action with us, if you would.
Okay.
Ron Papp is getting set to face Bobby Fleetwood.
And you got to wonder what's going through Ron Papp's mind right at this point when he just watched Bobby Fleetwood start with 9 in a row against Teata Semiz.
Papp starts the right way, solid in the pocket. What kind of lane surface is that out there, Dorman?
Well, it's synthetic. It's a solid phenolic lane surface. Or melamine, same with the approaches.
You want to try to spell either one of those for me?
I don't think so. Not today.
Tell us about your new pin spotter device.
Well, we've developed a new pin setter. Unfortunately, it's not in here. We didn't have time to put together that many on the short notice that we had to put the equipment in. But hopefully next time we'll have it in. But it's a little innovative.
Solid 10 pin.
Solid 10.
Solid 10 for Fleetwood. On a good shot. He's still hitting that pocket. This is how he ended the first game, but remember he missed that 10 pin against Teata when it really didn't make any difference, but this one does, so he's going to have to pay attention here. Cross lane with his spare ball. You can see how he bends his wrist so he doesn't get any hook on this ball. He's going to try to throw it hard and straight right at it. And that wasn't real aggressive there. He did get it, but that's got to make him a little nervous. He leaves another one.
So we get a look at that ball return. Tell us about that with the extra features on the side there.
Well, when we brought that out onto the market, up on the top holds 14 bowling balls, and then we call them saddlebags down on the bottom, and it's 6 more balls. So basically in league bowling, a 2 5-man team could each have 2 bowling balls up on the rack at the same time. And with today's bowling and everybody using so many bowling balls, that's a good thing to have.
It is, yeah. That way you're not tripping over them in the back somewhere or stumbling or breaking your leg trying to crawl over the bowling balls when it's your turn to bowl. I think it's a great idea, don't it?
Fleetwood back in the pocket, striking second frame.
What we need to do is invent a pin setter that doesn't leave 10 pins.
No. No, wait a minute. How about one that doesn't leave 7 pins for us left-handers?
That'll work.
That'll work, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Ron Papp, former PBA member. I talked to him about that, and he said that that he had dropped out of the PBA because he felt that he wanted to bowl a lot of amateur events, and that maybe later on in his career he'd come back and join the PBA again. He feels that with the amateur events that are available now, he can maybe have an opportunity to make a lot of money this summer.
Such a World Team Challenge.
One of those events, of course, is our favorite, the World Team Challenge. We're looking forward to a lot more of those coming up.
That's right. More Brunswick World Team Challenge coming up on this regional sports network. What happened here, Earl?
Well, you can see by his follow-through, he knew the ball was going to be high coming off his hand, and that's usually a mistake in your footwork getting to the foul line. And so what he tried to compensate with his release, and the ball just went left anyway. He had no chance to hold the line with that, and a tough spare, and he covers it.
We're all even, 2 frames in. Second match of the day. The winner here will go on to face Jason Queen in our semifinal match here at the 47th Annual ABC Bud Light Masters from the Von Braun Civic Center here in Huntsville, Alabama.
This, I'm sorry, Earl.
Go ahead, Dorman.
This section of the Civic Center was brand new. You know, it was just, they just got it finished before we started putting the lanes in.
Oh, this is an addition on the Von Braun Center that was here before, so they've added what you might call a wing on here. Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yes.
This is huge. This is a pretty good addition here.
In fact, the ABC tournament was the grand opening event for this South Hall.
That's correct.
And the ABC tournament will continue into June.
For the spare, good cover there. Playing at an extreme outside angle. Most of the right-handers have not been out there. They've been from the second arrow in. So a little more critical shot out there when you're playing that far out, because the ball wants to duck hook on the back end. You have to be really, really good with your speed control.
In fact, speaking of the ABC tournament, Bobby Fleetwood bowled in this tournament 3 weeks ago and is currently 24th in singles with his 747 score. Third frame looking to double.
Not having any problem at all getting the ball in the pocket area, just a matter of carrying, and he's only left 2 10 pins now in 13 tries, so he's had 11 strikes out of 13 shots. Not too bad. Pretty good percentage there.
12-pin lead, third frame.
Dorman, you mentioned that there were some weather problems while you were doing this installation.
Well,
Excitement, huh?
Yeah, there was a couple of tornadoes that passed by real close a couple different times when I was here. I was also here for the big 4-inch snowstorm that they had, which was very unusual for the area.
Actually, a couple tornadoes passed by last night. They had to evacuate the building before one of the blocks of qualifying.
This is true. I was trying to fly in. Plane couldn't land last night.
Well, that one left his hand inside of his target, got in the oil, and held.
Fleetwood 3 in a row for a 22-pin advantage. Thank you, Dorman Spencer, Vice President of Sales at Head & Bowling, for joining us. And we'll be back with more of our second match from the Von Braun Civic Center and the ABC Bud Light Masters. Welcome back to the Von Braun Civic Center. Mike Jakubowski along with Earl Anthony in the ABC Bud Light Masters. Ron Papp strikes, 22 pins, down here in the fourth frame.
We'll take a look at Bobby Fleetwood again going to the foul line. Now watch the style here from the side. This is a great shot. Very slow, deliberate footwork. See how strong that wrist position is at the top of the swing, and it stays there through the shot, rotates around the side and up, and that's what gives him all that rotation. Oh, I'm talking about Ron Papp. What am I thinking? Oh, sorry about that, but that was Ron Papp. Excuse me. Pappy knows better. I apologize, Pappy.
He has a chance here to cut the lead to 12 with a strike. Fifth frame.
Good shot. Outstanding shot. both players. He's made a move. He's moved more toward the center lane, got away from that outside angle. You can see, now watch where he throws this ball. Before he was outside the second arrow. Now he's right around that third arrow, basically the same shot and same angle that Bobby Fleetwood is playing. So both players now playing the edge of the oil line, you might say. There is a crown out there. There's a little more oil in the middle of the lane than there is in the outside. That's what's generating most of these big high scores.
There's that 747 series. It currently has Fleetwood at 24th.
What a great shot this is. This is our definition of a sky camera right here.
All but the 4.
Here's another look at that shot. And again, it's going left out of his hand. He doesn't really quite trust it as much as he did some of the other shots. I like his rotation on the ball. It's excellent. It's creating a lot of energy in the back end.
Pin lead. Talk to Fleetwood. He loves bowling in this ABC tournament and Masters. He loves the setting, the prestige, and the pressure, believe it or not.
The pressure. Well, the format of this tournament, very briefly, is there were 540 entries, including the defending champion, Ernie Schlegel. They cut to 144 after 2 5-game blocks of qualifying. That 144 bowlers then bowled another 5 games. We cut to the top 63. Got Ernie Schlegel, defending champion, join and went into match play. Match play is 3 games, total pins on a pair of lanes against your opponent. Total pins wins the match, and 2 losses, and you are eliminated. Here's a look at that. Took 206.6 average for the 10 games to make the first cut. And Mike, it went up a little higher from there.
Went up to a 211.3 for 15 games. And then those 63 players, like you said, plus Ernie Schlegel joined in 64. Here's our round-by-round leaders. Ryan Schaefer with an amazing 254 average over 5 games.
No, there's one of the bad breaks in the sport of bowling when you feel you've made a great shot and maybe got just a little bit too much hand or wrist into the shot. You can see the tremendous power and rotation on the ball. It grips the lane there, just overhits, just jams the 2 and the 4 into the side of the lane there and doesn't get to the 7 pin. And that can be very disheartening, but it's early in the match, still has plenty of frames left. This only the 6th frame. When the scores are this high, and you take a look there at Bobby Fleetwood sitting on the bench cleaning his shoe in preparation for his turn to bowl, when the scores are as high as they've been throughout the week, the players feel in their mind some pressure that they must shoot a big game. When they come over here to bowl the match, they feel like, boy, I've got to shoot a big game because I know he's going to. And that creates the kind of pressure where you don't make good shots. You're starting to aim the ball, try to fit it, rather than just let it swing and go through the shot and make that good free shot. And the ball doesn't hit as well, doesn't carry as well. And there's a little more ball speed, and you hit it harder. When you get more ball speed, you tend to, when you try to throw the ball harder, you tend to lift it harder, and so it breaks sharper on the back, and he gets the 6-7 split out of it. And there's some look at the stats on Ron Papp and how he got to this point.
5-2 in match play. Look at that match play average jump, 227.4. Taking out Del Ballard, Bobby Fleetwood.
Another tie you see there. He had a tie at 646.
More of the ABC Bud Light Masters coming up right after this. Mixing for the strike and the double. Putting some pressure on Ron Papp.
You can almost call the shot. Once a player throws a ball a little bit high, he tends to get the next one a little bit light, even though it's not even the same lane. And this is just a normal response out of a good bowler. Bowlers that are extremely talented tend to make adjustments without even thinking about it, based on the reaction of the last shot. And a kind of a disappointed looking Ron Papp sitting on the bench. His nickname is Pappy. Taking a lot of time here, and really getting out of the ball well now, making good shots, nice clean release, great rotation. Here's another look at that shot. Gets the ball well out in the lane in front of him. That's very important that you don't throw it out there, but you carry it out there with your fingers, and you can see the good result. A real look of determination now on Ron Papp's face. He knows that he is running out of frames very fast. The most he can shoot at this point, 223. His opponent going at a 239 pace. Actually 229, I should say. So it's still a match. Anything can happen, and usually does in the game of bowling. Ron Papp checking the huge scoreboard that's over the lanes here at the American Bowling Congress. It's an amazing facility. There's a look at it, and I'll tell you what, as we pan back down to the lanes, you can see the panoramic view of what the players see when they're preparing to bowl. Since 1980, we've had the computerized scoring here at the American Bowling Congress Championships, and I remember the good old days when the guys used to walk around up there, and we had the scorekeepers hanging up the strikes and the spares and the splits and all that. It was great, the nostalgia. But the ABC is progressing like everybody else into the computer age, and this is what we have now, these great scoreboards that can do almost anything. Tough spare here, 3-6-10, cross lane with his spare ball.
You're not dating yourself there, Earl, are you?
Well, I've been told about that stuff. Yeah, no, I bowled many ABCs and really enjoyed it. I love the ABC tournament.
Here's Fleetwood bowling well.
And he has really got this match all locked up. And now it's just a matter of maintaining the concentration level and preparing for the next match by continuing to make good shots. Don't get lazy. Don't get careless. There again, that 4-pin going straight back, and that little different carry that we haven't seen for a long time. In fact, I don't remember seeing that very often unless a player is playing an extreme inside angle, and he is not. Fleetwood playing more of an outside angle. But you can see the 4-pin scooting backwards there. Here's the bucks, Mike.
Total prize money of $250,000, $50,000 on top, and the Frank K. Baker Memorial Trophy. Earl, you've got 2 of those at home.
I have bookends. Yeah, I love them. They're great. I only have one at home now because the other one is in the American Bowling Congress Hall of Fame, but they're beautiful, beautiful trophies. What a wonderful tournament this is to win. It's something that every bowler should aspire to do, because this is the grandfather of all match game tournaments. The American Bowling Congress Masters Championships is the tournament that I always wanted to win the most.
And this is the original arena atmosphere.
Oh, this is as good as it gets, in my opinion. I just love this. You've probably seen more exciting venues at times on the Pro Bowlers Tour, possibly, but this has all the history and all the drama of what this game was created to be right here.
Oh my, bedposts.
Good bowling, good tournament.
Well, that will be enough to move on to face Jason Queen in our semifinal match. What a tournament for Ron Papp, though.
He won a Masters event in New Jersey to get to this point, and it's been a real run for him. You can see Ron a little disappointed in how things turned out, probably very disappointed. I would be. But when he looks back at this and goes home and thinks about it, this is going to be the jump start he needs to the rest of his career as an amateur bowler. He's planning to go out, as I mentioned, and take a run at some of the big tournaments against some of the outstanding amateurs like Chris Barnes. And guess who was in the spacesuit out there, folks? There's a prize for this. You'll never guess.
Who?
Tim Mack, one of the fine amateur bowlers in the country, just a young man himself, the ex-linebacker for Penn State, was our spaceman today in the suit.
In our opening. That was Papp finishing up, finishing 4th.
Not a bad check.
His best finish in the Masters. You can sort of see his girlfriend right behind him in the white. That's
she doesn't look real happy. And
we were trying to figure out yesterday during the match play who was more nervous, Tracy or Ron. She was pacing around, and he was bowling. And finishing off the style, there's Ron Papp. The American Bowling Congress annual convention allows delegates to vote on legislation concerning its membership. And this year, the American Bowling Congress paid special tribute to Executive Director Darrell Dobbs, who passed away in February. Back to the Von Braun Civic Center in Huntsville, Alabama, the ABC Bud Light Masters. We are in our semifinal match as Jason Queen is getting set to face Bobby Fleetwood. Earl, every player that has come out, the lower qualifying player is elected to start the match. What do you think the reason for that is?
Well, that's a good question, Mike, because you know, we have a commercial break after 3.5 frames. You'd think that they'd want to get 4 frames in, or apply pressure and sit on the bench and make the other guy make that tough shot under pressure. Maybe Jason is that confident, and maybe the other players have been that confident they feel they can make that great shot when they have to in the 10th frame.
Queen with an opening strike, 23 years old, from Decatur, Illinois. Oh, there's bowling historian Joe Taylor. Manages the lanes at the White House. Was able to take the White House tour with him.
Not the one that waved, the guy behind the girl, right?
Yes, the one in the red.
All right.
Took his White House tour, saw the bowling lanes in the old executive office building. He's got 1,000 stories about bowling and people in the White House. It's good to see him here in Huntsville.
Was he there with Nixon when he was bowling?
Yes, he was. I got to see Richard Nixon's bowling ball.
Well, a tough start here for Mr. Fleetwood, the solid 7. And the players, if you are really, really watching closely at home, and we've got some great camera angles from behind the lanes for you, you'll watch them kind of parallel in. And what I mean by that, they'll move their feet slightly to the left as the lanes change. Not on this spare shot, I don't mean that, but on their strike ball, you'll see them moving their feet to the left and their target to the left also. So you'll see them gradually working their way closer to the 4th arrow from starting out between the 2nd and 3rd. They'll gradually work their way in, so they're playing almost near the 4th arrow. And they're moving the feet at the same number of boards they're moving their target. And the reason is they're following the oil line. They're chasing the oil line so that they can get good skid, get the ball down the lane quite easily with the oil in the middle of the lane, and then get the back end that they want to make the ball strike. Now watch this ball. It'll be somewhere between 3rd and 4th arrow if you watch really close. Right around the 16, 15 board, and the ball went high. Now see, he's going to have to make that move that I was talking about. He's going to have to continue to move left with his feet and his target. And I think when Jason gets up, when there's a look at someone that's really important to all of us.
Roger Dalkin, the Assistant Executive Director for the American Bowling Congress.
And a nice guy.
Get to bowl with him in our office league.
Is he a good bowler?
Yes,
I know he is.
I
know he is.
Former World Cup winner.
Yeah, I've seen Roger throw it. He can roll it pretty good. Got a break here. Left only the 3-pin, a pretty easy spare. Just doesn't want to get careless.
Fleetwood with a couple of spares. There's a better look at Roger. Intensely scrutinizing the action. He told me his pick before the match began, and I'll maybe let you in on that later on.
Well, I like this young man's game right here. I like his ability to generate ball speed. You wouldn't think someone of such a diminutive stature could create this kind of ball speed, but watch where he's playing the lanes now. He's playing between the 3rd and 4th arrow, and here's a great look at him. There's another great camera angle. Now watch this. He'll be somewhere between the 3rd and 4th, and he's chasing the oil in even deeper than his opponent. And if they get a little bit wide to the right, it's going to go high, so they have to be careful. So you'll watch both of them start to move more and more to the middle. Here's a look at the style of Jason Queen from the side. He uses his leg strength. This is where he gets the ball speed, that leg strength. He really generates it with his legs, creates the ball speed. He needs to get it down the lane. And this ball high again on the head pin, but that great carry that's been prevalent here all throughout the ABC tournament and the Masters again comes through, tripping the 4-7-10.
In talking with Jason, this is a dream come true for him. He's never bowled this well in this big of a tournament.
Well, he's young. He's only 23. He's got a lot of bowling left ahead of him, and this is going to really, really make a step forward in his career for him. Not just because of the money or anything like that, but it'll generate a tremendous amount of confidence in himself and his ability to play against the best players in the world.
Here's a look at the high games. A lot of 300s. Eric Forkel, whom you see in our championship match, with a pair of 300s. Teata Semiz also perfect. Also back in 1983, Teata threw a perfect game. His last Masters appearance in 1987. As we had said earlier, he'd been 10 years between Masters appearances.
Well, I think he liked it a lot this year. He might be back early next year.
How about you?
Yeah, possible. You never know. There's a good move there. I see that ball was around the 17 board, and you can see that the ball held the line longer. It was no problem keeping it in the pocket. So he's made the move that we talked about here, and there's another look at it. Watch between the 3rd and 4th arrow. See that ball hit around the 17 board, and then he got it out down the lane. That's where it should be, and that's a perfect entry angle to get all 10 pins.
21-pin lead. Move to the 4th frame of our semifinal match. The winner of this match will face Eric Forkel for the Bud Light Masters Championship and $50,000.
You see the players standing out in front of the ball return a little bit there, and you're wondering what they're doing, folks. They're drying the perspiration off their hand. There's a blower that comes up through the floor there on a brass pipe. It's kind of unique. You haven't seen this in your bowling center, I'm sure. Another great shot there. You can see where he's moved in now. He's lined up again.
More of our semifinal match coming up from Huntsville. 4th frame semifinal match. Jason Queen, 3 from the 1st. Four strikes in a row, and Queen has been solid, Earl.
He has, and this young man, as I mentioned, I like his game. Here's a look at how he got to this point. 7 wins, 1 loss, qualifying, and he lost that late on in this thing. You can see he had a tie with Ron Papp, which means he had a 1-game roll-off, which he won.
He took out Bobby Fleetwood, Teata Semiz, and Ron Papp.
Twice.
21-pin lead can make it 31 with another strike in the 5th.
See that pipe sticking up out of the floor? That's what I was talking about. That's the hand dryer. Here's a great look from the side of Jason Queen. We've had some outstanding camera angles today. You can see he's wearing 2 different shoes also, and there's a reason for that, because he gets a much more consistent slide out of that particular shoe than he does the one that matches it. Here's another look at it. Got this one a little wide of his target, but he held the line with a little different release, a little flip spin there that kept the ball in line. So the players bowling with confidence.
Bobby Fleetwood defeating Ron Papp. 246, 203 to get to this point. He is on 2 in a row and needs a 3rd.
Well, the soft 10, what the players call the soft 10, this ball just was a little too far down the lane before it made its move to the pocket, and just never really got back at a good entry angle, and that's why he left the 10 pin. Here you can see a spare ball across lane, the weak wrist position, and he's had trouble with this spare. He missed it once, and he barely got it another time. Much better this time.
Semifinal match of the ABC Bud Light Masters. Jason Queen with a 32-pin lead, 5 strikes in a row from the 1st. Bobby Fleetwood needing to get something going here in the 6th.
Much better shot there. That ball flipped a little earlier. By that I mean it went into the roll a little earlier and held the pocket line very well, and that's the difference between that weak 10 and the solid strike. Well, Bob Fleetwood started that first game against Teata Semiz with 9 in a row, and here he's getting a look at what it feels like from Jason Queen.
Making it only his first match play appearance in 3 ABC Masters. What's the difference in the 3-game style of match play as the normal 1-game match play on the PBA Tour?
You feel like there's not so much luck involved. You feel like in one game anybody... I think you might say that kind of the cream comes to the top in a 3-game match. That's what we used to like about the Masters. You see the Trip 4 again when it was a 4-game format. But it's been shortened because of time problems that the ABC has had over the years with slow play. And I'm not embarrassed to say that the players have gotten slower and slower, unfortunately. And we would like to see a little faster play out of the players, but the concentration level, they feel they need this much time.
For Queen. We'll be back with the conclusion of our semifinal match right after this.
Semifinal match, Bobby Fleetwood needing to cut the lead to 42 pins with a strike.
Well, he's running out of frames, Mike, and even at that, he still has room because...
Found the mark again.
Jason Queen, in watching him in his matches, tended to get into trouble later on in the match. For example, in the 9th and 10th frames, even though he did come through and win, he did tend to get in trouble. He tended to let his opponent back into the match. Whether he would do that in this 1-game match remains to be seen, but in the 3-game matches, it was like he'd lose his concentration or something. His opponent would get back in, and then Jason would come right back and take the victory.
All right, Fleetwood up in the 8th with a chance to strike and cut the lead to 32. Put some pressure on Queen.
.250 plus. Well, that's how he started this match, with the solid 7, and that's going to be the second coffin nail, you might say, because that's going to be the one that does it for him. He had to have them all, no question, in my mind, his mind, and everybody in the building. You could tell by the crowd reaction that this is the one that did him in right here. What a great shot, and what a way to die.
And there's a look at our Pro-Am winner, Ron Creel, with Bill Chrisman and Barbara Chrisman.
What a beautiful trophy, too, from Anheuser-Busch. Isn't that pretty?
Pro-Am Monday night, picking up $1,500.
For a 300 game, if you're wearing the Contour Power Grip patch, but unfortunately, Jason Queen is not wearing that patch.
But he gets 8 in a row.
Got a little fast with the feet there and lost his balance at the foul line. Fortunately, the ball was on line when it left his hand, so these are the things you can get away with the reactive resin bowling balls. With a rubber ball or a plastic ball, this ball might not have hit very hard, but with the reactive resin, it still goes into the heavy roll and carries out the 10-pin.
He knew he was in trouble. Got the break. Match pretty well in hand. Let's see if Queen can close it out in perfection.
Well, it's been a great tournament for Bob Fleetwood. He has, as you see him shaking his head as he checks the scoreboard, but he has to feel very happy with his performance. He was outstanding. First time on television, he came through very well. Started the tournament with 9 in a row. His opening match against a great champion of his own right, Teata Semiz.
9 in a row for Queen. He'll go to the 10th with a shot at 300.
And now Fleetwood in the same position he put Semiz in. Just let me get done, get out of the way, and see if Jason can get his 300. You too can be part of this, Masters. If you've got a 190 average or better, men or women, come on out here and get involved, because this is a great tournament. The match game tournament in bowling right here.
Fleetwood can still go off the sheet for 237.
Not a bad game, but he might lose by 63 pins with 237. That's the only problem. All the players are wearing a microphone, and we're hoping that one of them might say something. entertaining.
You can hear Fleetwood expelling a bit of air, and perhaps the pressure of this match along with it.
Four-step approach, kind of a unique style. Very short steps for such a tall guy, and he hits the foul line very hard. By that I mean he really pushes into the foul line and pulls the ball through. Good style, but it takes some body strength to be successful with that style.
He's disappointed, but you can see the smile on his face. I finished third in the Masters.
And a nice paycheck, Mike. Third place.
Third place will net him $20,700.
Dave Brunette, manager of sports markets for Anheuser-Busch. Long been Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser has long been a staunch supporter of bowling, and we really appreciate that, especially here at the ABC Masters Championships.
All right, we'll set the stage here. Queen will face Eric Forkel in our championship match.
And Eric Forkel down there probably is saying, boy, I'm glad he's doing that this game and not the next one.
Jason Queen.
He's really got this crowd excited. Everybody, you can see the huge crowd here at the Von Braun Center, and I'll tell you, they're involved. A lot of smiles, a lot of people just really hoping to get a chance to see something maybe they've never seen before, a 300 game. Not only that, but on national television at the same time. And what a feather in the cap this would be for Jason Queen. 2 more strikes. Got fast with the feet, got the ball in the oil, and didn't get much on it, but it reacted and it carried the wall shot. Again, going back to how good the carry was here throughout the tournament. Get the ball in the pocket area, you've got a good chance to throw the strike, and that's what Jason Queen is doing. The most important thing, get the ball in the pocket. You've got a good chance for 300. One more ball.
Could shoot 300. Could cost him $10,000.
Well, it didn't cost him anything because he never had it, but it was an opportunity to get 10,000, that's for sure. From Don Heimbigner from Contour Power Grips. He was ready with the check. All right, for 300.
Perfection!
The best ball he threw in the 10th frame right there, the 12th one. It was a great shot.
Jason Queen with a 300 in the semifinals. And this crowd is on its feet.
And there's a hug from the one that counts the most.
I hope there won't be a letdown in the championship match, though.
Well, there's always that possibility, but right now he's on cloud 9, and you can see Jason is really thrilled. Perfect game, the 300 game.
We'll be back with our championship match as Jason Queen will face Eric Forkel right after this.
The Frank K. Baker Trophy in the foreground as Eric Forkel shakes hands with Jason Queen. Queen coming off that 300 game, 21st of his career, and Earl, the first game he ever bowled on TV.
Well, it's going to be hard to beat that, but he'd sure like to duplicate it. Kind of interesting here, Jason starting the match. So Eric Forkel, as a tournament leader, had a choice of which lane he wanted to start on. He determined that he wanted to finish first. In other words, he's going to finish the match and be sitting on the bench. He might put Queen in the position of needing a strike to win the tournament.
Forkel undefeated, 6-0 in his match play, averaging 236 during that time.
Including that huge 874. I mean, that's just unbelievable. That's the highest series ever bowled in Masters competition.
In ABC tournament history.
Yeah,
The
unbelievable.
whole tournament, 100 years worth.
And guess who he bowled the 874 at? Teata Semiz.
Poor Teata.
Everybody picks on Teata.
Mike Albee, the former champion. two-time champion, Mike Albee.
And
So
for the
Eric-
spare, this is his first chance to shoot a spare, Jason. So be careful, Jason. Yeah, there's a sigh of relief for Mr. Forkel. He knows he's not going to have a 300 bowled at him anyway.
Forkel with that 874 was 10 in a row, 7 spare, 12 in a row perfect game, 10 in a row, 8-1.
Very deliberate player also, a four-stepper. Really likes to get the ball well out on the lane, and he wasn't even close with that one. Just a little quick, and you can hear him say, slow down. Tough spare, tough opening spare, the 1-3-6, and he wants to get the ball between the 1 and the 3 pin. In other words, he wants the ball to cross the head pin. So he's going to use his strike ball, try to hook it across the head pin, and let it run down and take the 6. Great shot.
All even after one frame here in the championship match of the $250,000 ABC Bud Light Masters. Winners share $50,000.
Here's a look at the ball going down the line, what they call going down the line. He got the ball perfectly between the 1-3, and the ball took out all 3 pins. Now, Eric, he's just thinking, I got to slow down. Just keep my feet under me. Don't let myself get leaning too far forward into the shot. He also has a tendency to sit down on the shot. By that I mean he tends to bend his back like in a reverse C you might see a golfer making. And when he does that, the ball really gets off his hand in a hurry and he loses control. There is the Eric Forkel we've watched bowl this week, right there.
We take a look at some other finishers. Finishing in 6th position, Brian Brazeau, Emilio Mora Jr. in 7th, Brad Snell, and Brian Bogosian finishing 9th. Brian Smith, Ryan Schaefer, and another former Masters champion, Rick Steelsmith, finishing 12th. $144 players cashed out of this field of 540.
All right, Jason needs to get it going early here, and the advantage is his. He's just finished bowling on this pair of lanes. Another look at that last shot. You can see he's right between the 3rd and 4th arrow. The ball doesn't hit extremely hard, but it's enough to get the 5 out. The reason I'm saying that is Eric Forkel has to get his legs under him. He has to get used to being in front of this huge crowd, the television cameras on, these bright lights, and that'll take him 3 or 4 frames. Even though he's an experienced professional bowler, he still has to have that opportunity to get acclimated. And until that happens, the advantage is to Jason Queen. So he has to take advantage of that, get a good start early, or Eric Forkel is going to come after him real hard.
There it is, a double. 10-pin lead in the 3rd frame. New ABC President Gerald Tessman just took office from Maplewood, Minnesota. 1-year term. And he's in charge of all of those volunteers all over the country that provide support.
Give me an estimate. How many of them are there, you think?
Oh, thousands would be.
Somewhere, you think 50, 60, 70,000, somewhere in that?
Right around 60,000. A number of people that take care of lanes. Eric Forkel saying, come on, and there's his double. We're all even after 3.
Here's a look at the style of one of the better left-handers in the country, Eric Forkel. You can see the deliberate approach, very upright body position. You see how he tends to lean back there. Now, the key to Eric Forkel getting good balance and getting the ball off his hand the way he wants to is that sliding foot. You see how the toe is on the floor? If that foot is flat on the floor, then he's going to lean back and he's going to lose control of the ball. And that's what he really works on, getting that sliding foot in that position. The trailing foot in that position for balance, but also if he doesn't get his toe up, then he tends to fall backwards a little bit. So he has to be very careful to get that toe up. It's the key to his game.
Come on.
It came on a little too much this time for Eric, and he doesn't look comfortable. It doesn't look like he's making the shots as aggressively as he was last night, for example. And it's a shame, but sometimes television will do that to you. And again, getting acclimated is the key. And now he's in the 4th frame. Jason Queen with a huge advantage here if he should miss this. He's going to play it down the right-hander's side of the lane. Try to get the ball well across the lane, slide it into the 10 pin.
Joan Feely, sports analyst for Anheuser-Busch. Pleasure to see here with us here in the fabulous American Bowling Congress Masters Tournament. This 48-lane installation installed here in the Von Braun Civic Center will be taken out, lock, stock, and every last pin at the end of June at the conclusion of this event.
Big opportunity here for Jason Queen to take advantage of the mistake of Eric Forkel, extend his lead, and really apply pressure early on in the match. He's got to like this one. Got to like that one. He really threw that ball well.
ABC Bud Light Masters Championship match. Jason Queen with 3 in a row to take a 24-pin lead over Eric Forkel. Queen with a chance to extend that lead to 34 with another strike in the 5th. Coming off shooting 300 in the semifinal match. 24-pin lead. Pretty good position to be in. It's early, though.
Well, we could be watching a new bowling star being born right now, right here in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, 4 in a row. We'll be back with more of our championship match right after this from Huntsville. We're in the 8th frame here at the ABC Bud Light Masters Championship match. Jason Queen with a 54-pin lead. Eric Forkel can take it down to 44 with a strike here in the 8th. What's he thinking at this point, Earl?
He's thinking, just keep your head. Just keep your head and make good shots. That's really all it's about. Don't start thinking you've got it won until it's over.
Forkel with a double keeps him alive.
Really impressed with the way that Jason is handling this situation. Very relaxed attitude, kind of cavalier, just very comfortable with the situation. It's just so impressive that he can be at 23 years old and first time on television this comfortable. Let's see if he's still right between the 3rd and 4th arrow, and here's a look at it from behind. Another great shot. You know that's there. When he throws the ball in that area of the lane, it's going to be solid.
And Jack Mordini, ABC Group Executive in charge of tournaments, along with us here at the Von Braun Civic Center.
He's trying to look important right now. See the arms crossed and all that kind of stuff. Well, see how he looks there? He looks very serious.
Very regal.
Yes, very regal. He might be running for president of the United States or something. I don't know, but Jack's a great guy. A lot of fun. Lousy golfer, but great guy. "21 career perfect games, 23 years old. He's almost got one for each year of his life here. That's how good he's getting to the foul line and getting the ball out in front so well. Needs only to fill frames, and he'll be the winner. Here's a look at the footwork of Jason Queen. Watch him go into the foul line. See how he kind of drifts a little to the left, but look how balanced he is when the ball comes off his hand. Right through there. That is great. Good position. Comes up a little bit at the foul line, but that's how he generates ball speed. He needs to use his leg strength to get the ball speed to get it down the lane.
Forkel can go off the sheet for 225.
Jason Queen, just with good count, would win the tournament. A mark would be a lock. He's going at a 239 pace, if I'm correct. Thank you, Michael. Well, that's the end of it right there, and it's been a fast but unfortunately for Eric Forkel, a unsatisfying finish to what was a great tournament. But second place isn't all that bad. Lots of money there, Michael.
$27,000. Boy, this crowd was behind him last night, and I know they feel for him today.
Well, it's always a shame to lead a tournament and bowl as well as he did and not win the championship match. But
sounds like experience talking, Ralph.
But that's what bowling's all about, and that's what makes the format that we play on television so exciting, is the fact that you have to win that one-game match to continue to advance. And in this situation, Jason Queen, with his 300 game last game and with his 230 or more this game, is going to be the champion because he's performed the best today, and that's what really this is all about.
All right.
You can hear that voice in the background is Eric Forkel talking to his bowling ball. And he has to be proud of himself, though. The 2-year hiatus from the game, came back mentally stronger and ready to play again. And he really feels that he's going to be a factor again on the PBA Tour. And I'm hoping he does, because he's a good guy. He works hard at the game, and that's how he makes a living. You can hear the crowd in the background giving Eric a round of applause, not out of what he's done today, but what he did to get this far.
6-0 in match play, set the all-time ABC tournament scoring record, 3-game series at 874. Will finish second here, taking home $27,000. Fine performance for Eric Forkel.
And the man of the hour coming up to finish off this championship match is Jason Queen.
Jason Queen, you are not dreaming. You are the 1997 American Bowling Congress Bud Light Masters champion. We'll be back to talk with him after this.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, our champion, Jason Queen, winner of the 47th Masters Championship. And here to present the Frank K. Baker Trophy, emblematic of that win, is the current president of the American Bowling Congress, Jerry Tessman. Jerry?
Jason, congratulations. The Masters tournament started in my hometown, St. Paul, Minnesota, by Frank Baker. I'm proud to give you this trophy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go. And the man with what really matters a lot to Jason, I think, is that $50,000 check is Dave Brunette from Anheuser-Busch. Dave?
Jason, on behalf of Bud Light, we'd like to congratulate you on some outstanding bowling today and present you with this check in the amount of $50,700 as our winner of the ABC Bud Light Masters. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, David. First time ever on national television, any kind of television, and he starts with a 300 game. Tell us a little bit about how you felt in the 10th frame.
Every ball felt very heavy. I was very nervous. I just wanted to get through the ball and make a good shot, and luckily everything worked out.
Well, anyway, it was outstanding, and it's never been any better than that. And goodbye from here in Von Braun Center. Thank you.
For Earl Anthony, this is Mike Jakubowski. So long from the ABC Tournament Lanes in the Von Braun Civic Center in Huntsville, Alabama. This has been an ABC Eagle Productions telecast.
Hey, go, 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 go.